Few names have endured through the centuries with as much strength as St. George. He is widely recognized as the soldier on horseback slaying a dragon. But behind that symbolic image lies a real story shaped by courage, conviction, and a decision that ultimately cost him his life. To understand St. George, it is necessary to return to the 3rd century during the Roman Empire, a time of great power, but also intense persecution of Christians. In that world, faith was not just a personal belief, it was a choice that could lead to suffering, imprisonment, or death. George was born around 275 AD, likely in Cappadocia, in what is now Turkey. He was raised in a Christian family and educated in the faith from an early age. After his father's death, he moved with his mother to Palestine, where he grew up. From a young age, he showed discipline and strength, which led him to join the Roman army. He quickly rose through the ranks and became a respected soldier, known for his courage and loyalty. His military career was successful, and he gained influence within the imperial structure. But there was a silent conflict within him. The Roman Empire demanded not only political loyalty, but religious conformity. Soldiers were expected to worship Roman gods and honor the emperor. For a Christian, this was a direct contradiction. During the reign of Emperor Diocletian, persecution reached one of its most violent phases. Decrees were issued requiring all citizens to offer sacrifices to Roman gods. Refusal meant punishment. At that moment, George made a defining decision. He would not deny his faith. This was not a reckless act. George understood the consequences. He was not an anonymous figure. He was an officer. His refusal was a direct challenge to imperial authority, yet he remained firm. According to historical traditions, George presented himself before authorities and openly declared that he was a Christian. He did not hide, he did not compromise. He stood by what he believed. The reaction was immediate. He was arrested and subjected to severe torture. The goal was to force him to renounce his faith. He was threatened, pressured, and physically tormented. But something unexpected happened. He did not break. Even under extreme suffering, he remained steadfast. His strength was not just physical, it was rooted in conviction. There are accounts suggesting that his courage inspired others, even leading some to convert after witnessing his endurance. When it became clear that he would not renounce his faith, the final decision was made. George would be executed. He died around the year 303 AD, likely by beheading. With that, he became a martyr, a witness who remains faithful even unto death. Over time, his story spread across different cultures and regions. His image became associated with the legend of the dragon. However, this part of the story is symbolic, not historical. The dragon represents evil, fear, and oppression. The knight represents courage, faith, and decision. This symbolism reflects what George truly faced, not a literal monster, but the pressure of power, fear, and control. His victory was not physical, it was spiritual. His devotion grew over the centuries, and he became the patron saint of various regions and countries, including England and Portugal. His name remains associated with protection and strength. But the most important aspect of his story is not the symbolism, it is the decision. George could have chosen safety. He could have preserved his position, his status, his life, but he chose faith. That choice defines his legacy. In a world where pressure constantly shapes decisions, his story raises a direct question. What would you do? His faith was not theoretical, it was lived, and it was carried to the end. His story is not about visible victory, it is about consistency, about standing firm when everything pushes in the opposite direction. Today, centuries later, his name is still remembered, not for power, but for a decision, because in the end, the real battle was never against a dragon. It was against anything that tries to make you abandon what you know is true. And that battle still happens today. If this story gave you a new perspective, subscribe to the channel and leave a like so more people can discover stories like this.